Welcome to Franchise Focus. I'm your host, Lisa Lankowski. I am the owner of Milestone Franchising. I'm a certified franchise consultant representing hundreds of concepts in the franchise space. And Franchise Focus is all about shining a light on the franchise industry. And today in studio, I'm very pleased to welcome Rob Stolker and Wayne Jordan, who are the co-owners, franchisees of Bubbakoos Burritos. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so much,
Lisa. Thank you for having us on, Lisa.
Yeah, so thank you for coming in. And, Rob, when you and I did our discussion, you said your goal is to take this like, Jersey Mike's and just go boom, like right out of the gate with it. And we're going to talk about what the Bubbakoos Burritos concept is all about. But before that, I want to hear from both of you as to what you were doing before franchising got you in its tangled web here.
Okay. So Rob and I met over 30 years ago. Rob went to college up in Massachusetts, where a really good friend of mine, who I grew up with, he went to the same school as Rob. So that's how I was introduced to Rob. And after college, we both worked on Wall Street. So I worked on the New York Stock Exchange for 4 years. And great experience being the core of the Wall Street world. And then after that, Rob, myself, and a group of us started a proprietary trading group, and we had that for about 5 years. Great experience working with all of our friends and all that. And then after we were done working in New York, I got into the property management world. Actually, Rob's dad actually got me into it. Rob's dad owned several probably more like mid-rise buildings in Center City, Philadelphia. I worked for him for a couple of years, and then I worked close. And then I changed and kind of got into like the rental side, closer to home. Did that for about 13 years, and then my last opportunity in the property management was with First Service Residential, where I was managing condo high-rises in Jersey City. So,
okay.
After doing that for so long, in 2019, I said to Rob, I can't do this anymore. I don't have it in me to do this 11 more years. And I've always wanted my own business. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but him and I started meeting and talking about what steps we need to do to figure out exactly what kind of business would be suitable for us.
Okay, so why franchising, and why did you come into this space? Like what drew you into this arena? Very different from property management and Wall Street. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so I've always been an entrepreneur. I love businesses. I've owned and started all different kinds of businesses, some successful, some not so successful. I have an idea, I like to run with it and go. And Wayne and I always talked about starting a business together, getting in business together. I'm a member of EO, Entrepreneurs Organization, a great entrepreneurs organization. I talk to so many other business owners. We feed off each other, talk to each other about our businesses. And, it came full circle to getting into the franchise world is what we thought we wanted to look for. And we didn't know what that was. It could have been a lot of different concepts, a lot of different things. We did our due diligence. We talked to a franchise broker. His name's David Weaver. He was great. Walked us through the whole process of owning a franchise. And, in the end, it came back to food. And in the end, it just kept coming back to Bubbakoos Burritos.
Okay, and what drew you to that? And did he introduce you to them, or did you find it themselves? Did you find them yourselves?
Yeah, but Bubbakoos Burritos, we found ourselves. Okay. They're local to us. They're right here in New Jersey. They're in our backyard. We met with their team early on. We did their discovery day. We were able to go to so many restaurants that they have in New Jersey, meet with other franchisees. They're right in our backyard, but just an amazing brand concept. All their team, starting with their two founders, and working its way down, are just incredible. And we just love being a part of the brand.
So at what year did you guys open up your first location?
Last year was April 15th of last year was our first store.
So very recent, and that's in New Jersey. And your first location gets up and running. How long was that process from the moment that you went to Discovery Day to the point that you guys opened and welcomed your first customer?
So we did, so we signed our franchise agreement with Bubbakoos in, it was August or September of 2020, I think it was, right? 2020.
Okay.
So it took us, by the time we met with David Weaver, which was January of 2020, and obviously, as Rob said, we looked at other concepts. It was 9 months by the time we said, all right, we're comfortable, with like, this is the brand we want. The opportunity is growth. We weren't just another number. Like if you like open up a McDonald's, there's so many franchises. You're just another number. So at that time, there was maybe half of the amount of locations as there are now, and we felt like with the support, as Rob stated, the headquarters is in Wall, New Jersey. It's half out from where we live, and the menu and just the opportunity as far as growth. We looked at other competitive restaurants within that Mexican concept,
Right.
and there's just so many. And we felt like, with the opportunity as wasn't, within New Jersey and within as well as other states, we felt like the Bubbakoos was best suited for us.
And what number store were you when you opened your first store?
So Hazlitt was number 71.
71. So they have about 150, 45 locations at this point today. Is that what you're saying?
No,
or
he meant when we first started
when you
talking
first,
to them. From
I
when we
see,
first started
I
talking
see.
to them,
Okay.
They had somewhere around 40 or so.
Oh,
Now
okay.
they
I
have a
understand.
little
My
over 100.
apologies.
Yep, no.
Okay,
Yep.
so right now they're sitting at
About 103, 104.
Yep.
103, 104. Okay,
Yep.
so
Yep.
still lots.
With agreements to open up a lot more.
Right,
for
because
sure.
there's still,
All
we
over.
know from these other juggernauts that the sky's the limit for how many that you can get out there and you can get up and running, right?
Absolutely.
So you come into this space, you decide, yep, franchising is for us. We're going with the quick service space. You identify the concept. And before you even open up the doors, I think you signed the lease on your second location. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. And our third as well.
And your third as
yeah,
well.
Yeah.
So you guys are not joking around with this. You are taking it very, very seriously. And Rob, we talked about that, owning just one quick service restaurant. It's not really a business model. Like, that's not what franchising is meant for. There are franchise concepts where you can just have your one and be very, have a nice thriving business. But in the quick service industry, you really are meant to scale, like what you guys are looking to do, right?
You can, but it's hard. And if you only have one, I would say, from my experience as an owner, expect to be in the store. If the margins are tight, and if you have one, you have to be in that store to make it work and be in that store nonstop. And it's one of the things that Wayne and I certainly talked about. We would love that. The two of us would love to have one store, be in that store, work together, have a lighter staff, but we just had a bigger goal, bigger mission. And for us also, it's about impacting lives. We've seen that firsthand. The impact that we've had on so many lives, having employees and people around us and servicing people, that's been all the fun for us, for sure.
Meanwhile, when I get candidates, they're going, show me something that's semi-passive with no labor and no labor. Did I mention no labor? Because the labor issue is daunting at best, right? And meanwhile, you both are embracing it and you're doing really well. Why? Why do you believe that that's happening? And it's because of this mission that you just mentioned, but expand upon that a bit more.
So I'll just start with our core values. Our core values are everything to us. Respect, teamwork, happiness, consistency, dependability. We talk about our core values. Every conversation we have with, whether it's our managers, whether it's our burrito artists, our shift supervisors, every conversation starts and ends with our core values. They mean everything to us. Respect is, they're all the same, but we want everybody to treat everybody else with respect, whether it's customers, coworkers, us, and it just created an amazing culture. And there are some people that it wasn't for. There's some people that just didn't fit into our core values, didn't buy into our core values, but we're so fortunate to have such an amazing staff in all three stores who all believe in our core values and live them every day.
Which is terrific. And You know, coming back to that, you know, you both wanting to work in this, you know, this one location. Rob, you're not really working in this. You're kind of on the outside. You're there, but you're not really working in it.
No, I'm there.
You're there all the time.
No,
But
I'm
when
there.
we talked
I'm
about
there.
it, you said you're not really there that much. It's really this guy.
Yeah,
that's there
well,
He's learned a
operations
lot.
wise, Wayne
Right.
Wayne is
That's what I
the
was
ops
getting at.
person for sure. But I love being around the store. I love being around our employees, our people. I love it. But for Wayne and I, the bigger things that we want to do to open up a lot of different restaurants all over the country. For us to be able to do that, we have to remove ourselves from those stores. Let our managers do their jobs, and let our shift supervisors do their jobs. Let our great burrito artists, everybody, the cashiers, dishwashers, let them do their jobs, and kind of remove ourselves from the store. Having said that, when I'm there, I love it. I love the energy. I love the brand. I love our people who come in. I love working with our employees. It's just a lot of fun for Wayne and I. And we're people. We talk about the impact that we are making on lives with our core values. That is real. We see it right in front of us.
Excellent. So Wayne, tell me about what your role is. What is it that you're doing day in and day out? I know you're going to be flying out of here this afternoon. What is it that you're doing? What's your and by the way, it's a lot of hours that you're working to make this all happen.
It is a lot of hours, but I enjoy it because, you know, the restaurant world, as a customer, it's supposed to be a place where you go and enjoy yourself, eat, and it's the same thing for the employees. I always tell the employees, enjoy coming to work. Don't be stressed when we're busy. We're all one team. If we fail, we fail together. If we succeed, we succeed together. And we always tell them, you know, you guys are rock stars. You know, let's do this. We got it. And so, you know, I've taken my 25 years of management experience, and I've taken everything I've learned over the years, and I've applied to running each store. And each store is different. I mean, even though the concept is the same, you know, I have to know my audience. You know, typically most of the employees are high school to, you know, or early college. I have some people that might be a little bit older. And, you know, I did the training. So as a general manager or a franchisee, there is 4 weeks of training within the corporate level. And I learned a lot. I didn't, except for bartending when I was younger, I didn't have any restaurant experience. But I learned very quickly. So, you know, it's something I really do enjoy. Yes, it's a lot of hours, you know. But, you know, Rob and I, you know, we support each other. As like right now, you know, I'm devoting my time up in Troy. We opened Troy up April 2nd. It will be 3 months.
This is your third location.
This is our third location.
In New York.
In New York. And we were actually the 99th store in the country to open. And one of our co-founders, Bill Hart, actually is from Troy. So this is a special location, not just for us, but for Bubbakoos as well.
Okay.
And we knew it was going to do well. We didn't know how well, but you know, our first 2 months, we actually have had #1 sales in the country. So we've done very well.
Wow.
And very busy. We haven't scratched the surface. We still have a lot of work to do as far as bringing in more business. So right now, I'm devoting my time up there, and Rob's overseeing our 2 in New Jersey. But, you know, there are, you know, as I've learned as far as the management part, okay, I don't make emotional decisions. I sit and I really think about all the time, 24/7, what changes, what I have to put first is my managers in position to succeed. So that's what Rob and I have done in each store, whether it's adding equipment, a system, because every Bubbakoos, even though like the concept, like the restaurants are the same, but the way you manage it might be different in one store versus another, okay? And originally in Hazard, when we did really well, we still are, but as far as the sales were really high back in April, May, and June. We had to add a second line. Then as, you know, typically in the restaurant world, you know, your sales do probably drop about 25 to 30%.
They level off.
Yeah, and then we weren't using that second line. Now I had it, because sales were so high in Troy, I took that equipment and I brought it up to Troy. So we added a second line. So every store is managed differently. Okay, so we are, again, it's mine and Rob's job to sit and figure out what works best for this store, what works best for the other stores.
Right.
So
It's logistics and
Yeah.
trying to, and that operations
absolutely.
background.
Yep.
That's
And a
going to be
constant.
really to really follow it, because if you're not managing the store properly, to come back to your point about those margins, now that starts to take a hit. Now you've got the employees maybe are not as happy because they are not working. They're working in an area that's not flowing as well as what it should be, and now you've just got a little bit more unrest, and then that maybe then lends itself to the customers, and then it all just becomes that whole thing. So you've got to stay on top of it and stay tuned in and tapped into what's happening in each location. Your overall goal here is how many stores are you looking at?
A lot. We want to open up a lot of stores.
a lot.
Like I said, it comes back to we want to impact as many lives as we can. We see the impact that we have on our lives, the culture that we're creating, and we want to keep doing that. We love it. We have now caught the bug for it. We want to open up more and more and more stores, and like I said, it all comes back to just impacting more lives.
I want to come back to something that you said, Wayne. When you talked about, you build it, does it necessarily mean if you build it, they will come? Like in the beginning, the excitement in the community that Bubbakoos is coming, you get that excitement, people start coming in, but do you have to do a lot else, like from a marketing standpoint, for getting people and drawing them in?
Well, I mean, obviously everybody says location, location, location. That's usually the first thing, right? So, as it was weird was in 2020, as we first signed on, Rob and I live in northern Monmouth County, and the closest one to there was Freehold and Shrewsbury, but not too many people within the Hazlitt, Homedale, and Middletown, Aberdeen area heard of Bubbakoos. I would say almost 6 months before we opened, everybody started hearing about Bubbakoos, and we would wear, this is great marketing, just wearing Bubbakoos attire, and people come to us and say, when are you guys opening? Because there have been, prior to opening, there have been things, newspaper articles and things within
Some
the
PR
community that we
releases,
are opening
sure.
soon, and then people, it could be in any store, I'm like, oh my God, when are you guys opening? I can't wait, I love Bubbakoos. And all of a sudden, people started, by the beginning of last year in 2022, we could tell that Bubbakoos within the state of New Jersey has really became a popular brand. It took a while, but you could see like a lot of people started, because 4 or 5 years ago, everybody was on the Chipotle bandwagon.
Right.
I love Chipotle, and that switch in New Jersey has started changing.
Yep. Understood. All right, gentlemen, this is an amazing discussion. Just give me a moment. We're going to take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsor, Zoom One Media, and then come back because we have so much more to talk about with these great guys and Bubbakoos Burritos. So hold on.
Hi, I'm Bob Hochgertle from Kings Road Brewing Company. I'm here to tell you about a brand new show on RVN Television called Cooking with the King. Each week, we're going to taste and sample some of the best beers the Kings Road Brewing Company has to offer. And we're going to talk to area chefs and restaurant owners as we pair our beer with their signature dishes. We're going to teach you how to cook and eat like a king. Cheers.
My dream day with Offset starts like...
Cardi, baby, get in. I surprised you with a place all to ourselves.
Thank you, baby.
You look gorgeous tonight, baby. We share our favorite McDonald's order.
And we start with a cheers. Let's eat. The Cardi B.
An Offset meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey.
Kids are so expensive, Dad. Now Katie needs braces.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You can save hundreds.
I don't know, Dad.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You could save hundreds.
It's a great idea, TV Dad.
But I said the exact same thing.
Someday when you're a father, you'll understand.
I'm his father.
It's not a competition.
Listen to Your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $700 on average.
Somebody needs to put on their listening ears.
What?
Exactly. You need more fatherly wisdom? Click over here to watch more videos.
You can be confident choosing Farmers Insurance. There's no need to knock on wood.
Perfect.
This is an unnatural amount of natural light.
Thank you.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Does it get better than never getting lost? Does it get better than not parallel parking yourself?
Alexa, ask Smart Feed to feed the dog.
Does it get better than feeding your dog from 50 miles away? Well, actually, yes, it does. At Buick, we're dreaming of a future that is more harmonized with your life. A future where your Buick starts the day just as refreshed as you are and can adjust to match your mood or even your outfit. Imagine a world driven by technology that can see more, sense more, and connect more.
Zen mode activated.
So your life is simpler than ever before. Imagine a world where your Buick knows the latest forecast and can react accordingly, even if you forget your umbrella at home. A world where your Buick won't just help you drive, it'll drop you off.
Auto valet engaged.
And even park itself. At Buick, we see a future that's even better because it's built around you.
Lights, romance setting.
Because the life-enhancing innovations you've never even dreamed of, Buick is dreaming of them every day. Come dream with us.
Welcome back to Franchise Focus. I am your host, Lisa Lankowski, and I am so pleased to have Rob Stolker and Wayne Jordan in studio. I don't know why I keep messing that up. And we just saw great, tantalizing images of your food. So before we go any further, what is your favorite menu item there, Wayne?
Well, I would lie if I didn't say I love the apple empanadas, but you know, everything is so good on the menu. My favorite protein is the shredded carnitas, which is a pulled pork. It's marinated. It comes in a bag marinated ready, and then we season it. But everything is absolutely delicious. And when Rob and I did the Discovery Day, I actually never had cauliflower before. The fried cauliflower, we have different sauces from spicy to mild to sweet. And using sweet chili or garlic parm on the fried cauliflower is absolutely delicious. So I can tell you, there's nothing on the menu that's bad. I can't even tell you which is my favorite.
Okay, Rob.
And for me, I'd like a full meal. So I'll start with the hibachi steak and shrimp burrito. They're dynamite, phenomenal. Steak and shrimp, really, really, really good. I'll go with a side, maybe cheese curds. Our cheese curds are phenomenal. We usually serve it with sriracha ranch, which is really great sauce. Great cheese curds or curly fries, drink, and then for dessert, I'll always go with our boardwalk cookies or our love chips, but mostly our boardwalk cookies. They're fried Oreos, and they're made really, really well. We make everything to order, so when you order them, that's when we put them down and that's when we make them. So everything's made fresh, and like Wayne said, everything is good. We eat it, all day. That's what we eat pretty much every meal, and we never get sick of it. We love it, and our employees are the same. It's great. It's a great brand, great food.
Excellent. Well, now I'm starving, by the way, so thank you for that. All right, so we're going to dig in a little bit more here because this is such a great conversation. One of the things is about legacy. Franchising is all about legacy, and it can be. Some people, their succession plan is to sell and move on, but other people, they are looking at their family to come in. And I understand, Wayne, that you already have some of your family members working in the business with you. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I had 3 boys. So my 16-year-old works there part-time while he's in high school, and my middle son, who's 23, is my assistant GM in the Hassel store.
Nice.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Excellent. So yeah,
Great
you
kid.
just don't know whether or not this is going to translate, and then they say, yeah, this is what I want to keep doing, and now you hand that business right on over to your kids, right?
Well, usually, like, in family businesses, I'm sure a lot of kids, it's not their dream job.
Right.
But, as you see how hard it is in the business world and trying to move up, there's nothing better to, even though it's not your dream job, to work with your family, and
Right.
hopefully one day you take over. So I tell my son, this is not just a job. Everything you see in here, the equipment, the store, the food, everything that Rob and I pay for, I was like, think of this as your inheritance. I mean, this is yours too. It's not just mine, and you have to treat it like it's your own. That's how it's going to better himself as a manager.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, and he's already working in it at that ground floor, which is really important, and then continues on and starts maybe taking on different roles, and or says, this isn't for me at some point, and he flies off, but maybe then comes back. Like, you just don't know how things are. But I think it's wonderful that you already have two.
He actually said that to me. So as we signed on with Bubbakoos, at the time I thought he was going to be a manager, and I said, well, go work at one of the corporate stores for 6 months until we open. Just work the regs, just learn it a little bit.
Right.
And then after a month, he's like, it's not for me. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm not going to push into it. But, as he did his own thing and he was going back to college and he just didn't really want to finish college, he came to me. I didn't go to him. And he says, I want to come back. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Great
Good.
kid. Great kid.
That's awesome. You said that. You
Yep.
were like, they're great kids,
They are
so
great
that's
kids.
good.
Yep, yep.
And you guys, your families know each other. Like, you guys are really very close, tight-knit. Wives are really close. Like, I think that also is really wonderful from that partnership standpoint of, just really, you can tell you guys are very passionate about this. It's not just this, pinky, you've got your pinky in it, and that's all that you've got. You're all in, and you're living it, and you're enjoying it, even though it is still very difficult and very hard, but you're enjoying it, which is fun. And you're, like you said, you're continuing on. What is your goal for New York, by the way? Do you care to share? Are you able to share what your goal is?
Yeah, we have a really big territory up there. We opened up the one only 2 months ago. It's doing phenomenally. We have an incredible staff. And one of the things we know, we want to open up more up there for sure. We want to promote from within. We have great shift supervisors who someday will make great managers. We have great burrito artists who are going to make great shift supervisors and maybe managers from there. And like I said, it all comes back to people, and for Wayne and I to see people grow and build with us. We're in this for the long haul, and we're excited about every step we take.
And being part of franchising, one of the things that I always talk about is that you're not alone. Like, you can't go knock on your competitor's door and go, hey, when you had this issue, what did you do, right? Because that's not going to happen. But you do get to talk to the other owners within the system, and you get to utilize that brain trust from everybody else and learn from them, and they learn from you, and coming forth, back and forth, and hearing, at this point, they've ironed out 99.9% of the issues that they've probably been faced. But I would assume you're all in and working in the system and talking with the other owners on a regular basis, right?
Absolutely. So we talk to Bubbakoos franchisees on a consistent basis. It's important for us to talk and to share best practices and go through our challenges, see what we're seeing today, tomorrow, because as a lot of people know, every day is different and every challenge is different, and you might think you have something that is working well and smoothly, and 3 days later, not so much. And so to be able to talk to other Bubbakoos franchisees, make so many great relationships with them, have an open dialogue, that's amazing. But also As a member of EO, New Jersey Entrepreneurs Organization, I have so many great friends. We have one who owns 45 now Jersey Mike's. I have a good friend who owns 10 Hand and Stones, massage parlors, so many other great businesses, and we're all supportive of each other. We all talk about the things we're doing. We all talk about our core values, how we're implementing our core values, what our core values are, meetings, how we're running our meetings, how we're making our meetings more efficient, more efficient, more efficient. And those are the things that Wayne and I talk about all the time, is how we keep our great people engaged and active, and so far it's working.
Terrific. Wayne, what's something that keeps you up at night with all of this? Like,
Just
being
one
in
thing,
this.
or?
Yeah, what's the one thing, like, where you woke up in that cold sweat going,
he didn't know there was a night.
I cannot, the hardest thing about being, and I've even like back when I was in property management, I always had a difficult time shutting my brain off from work. More so now. I can't, I could be out to dinner or whatever, and I'm always thinking about something. Right. It doesn't have to be anything bad.
No, right.
Just my mind's always going.
Sure.
And lately it's been, I'm up, I'm sleeping, I'll fall asleep for 2 hours, I'm up, watch TV, and fall asleep, I'm up again. So, there's always room for improvement. I'm never satisfied. I'm very, very competitive with the numbers. I want us to be number one in sales. That is something that's always important. Just my competitive nature. As far as again, it's, the staff is so important. So this is a tradition for me. Whenever I go into a store, I fist pump everybody, and I'm like, thank you for all you do. You guys are rock stars. I do the same thing when I leave. I fist pump them, like, thank you. You guys did an amazing job. You guys are rock stars. Thank you. We really appreciate, because it's not an easy concept. No. They could easily go to, they could go to a full service, make more money, or they could go to an easier brand and sit around, whether it's, in the summertime, being a lifeguard or just something easier. But we've had a few people who've been there since day one. And in Troy, and even Troy too, it's busy every day. Lunch is busy, dinner's busy. Of course there's some downtime, but not much.
Right.
They've stuck by us because, again, what Rob and I provide.
Right.
Everything's positive. They just appreciate everything that we're doing for them.
It's a great place to work.
It really is. It's a great culture.
Team atmosphere. And it comes to our core value. Teamwork is one of our 5 core values for a reason. And
hey, Rob, we're going to be wrapping up, and I know that you have a mission that is near and dear to your heart, and I want to make sure that the audience hears about this because it's fantastic. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I can go on and on, but I'll give you the quick version. Is I have 4 amazing daughters, and I love sports. I'm a big fan of sports. I grew up playing every sports in the streets of Philadelphia, basketball, played stickball, whatever it is, and I'm very fortunate enough to have been able to have 4 healthy daughters who have all played sports growing up, and I was able to coach them, and I was the vice president of our local athletic association, and it was now 9 years ago that my 2 youngest came to me and asked me to play lacrosse. And I didn't know anything about lacrosse growing up in Philadelphia, and so of course my first reaction was sure. A new sport for me, new sport for you. I'm glad you love sports so much. Let's do it. I signed them up, and actually about an hour later I got a call from the head coach at the high school, and she asked me to run the whole league. And she said, I said, I know nothing about lacrosse. And she said, oh, you'll be great. The parents love you, the girls love you. I'll show you, how you're doing. And I was like, I cannot run a league when I know nothing about the game. She said, okay. She paired me up with a couple assistant coaches for my daughters. And I got to that field, I was excited. But the first thing I noticed was that the boys were on one field wearing big, hard helmets on their heads, and the girls were on another wearing nothing to protect their heads. They just had a face mask to protect their eyes. And I started asking questions, and I didn't like the answer. I came home, I found 2 studies that had girls lacrosse as the 2nd highest concussion sport at the high school level to football. I didn't let my girls play. I said I'm going to do something about it. Naively, I said, how hard can it be to make a headgear? It took me 3 years, but I did make the first ever certified girls lacrosse headgear. and I am pushing for it to get mandated. USA Lacrosse is the governing body. They need to mandate that every single girl in the country wears one. The state of Florida mandated. Other courageous programs around the country are mandating, and that is my mission, to see the USA Lacrosse mandates headgear in the game of girls lacrosse.
Fantastic, and you have a book about that as well.
Absolutely. It took me a year and a half. I wrote a book. I've met so many girls who have been impacting. One accidental stick, or that sport is played with sticks, a rock hard ball, one ball to the head, and the impact that it makes not only on their lives, but on their families' lives permanently. One girl in Florida, 8 years later, she's had 10 medicative shots at the back of her neck to try to stop the migraine she gets every day.
And what's the name of the book?
My book is It's a No-Brainer. You could just go on, it's on Amazon. We put it on very inexpensively.
Terrific.
Yeah, all you have to do is Google girls lacrosse headgear, and my name will come up. And
well, hopefully we just got your message out there just a little bit more.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Lisa.
Wayne and Rob, I can't thank you enough for such a great discussion that is so needed for people to hear on so many levels about what it takes to really run a business and run it properly, and that passion, and that you guys exude it. You live it, you exude it, and I thank you so much for coming on and sharing it with us. If you want to go and experience the Bubbakoos Burrito, if you happen to be in the New Jersey area, you guys have your location in Hazlitt and Woodbridge, and then up in Troy, New York. And of course, you can find those locations at the Bubbakoos Burritos website. And this is Franchise Focus. We air every Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm Lisa Lankowski, and you can learn all about me at my website, which is milestonefranchising.com. Thank you so much for watching.